central courtyard, those courtyards being one of the characteristics of residences and palaces. We've also got a very interesting residence, again, and it is a residence because of the courtyards and these smaller chambers which could have been used for administrative purposes, also for living. Again, these probably had an upper floor as well. But the Giparu of Amr Sin, and this is an interesting structure. It was founded in the early dynastic period, but rebuilt during the Ur III period. And really what this is the official residence of the high priestess of Nana and her entourage. So when these kings are appointing their daughters to be the high priestess of Nana at Ur, this is where they're living. So when, for example, Sargon sent his daughter, Enheduanna, this is where she lived. And actually we have many of the dead priestesses, they have cult offerings that are offered to them at this site many years after their death. So this is Enheduanna and all these later priestesses of Nana where they are established. And you can see, I mean, just in terms of the size and the scale, these are women who exhibited and wielded a tremendous amount of power, especially during this period where so much material is coming to Ur. So all this piety and hard work, these kings who are, again, devoting all their lives to the gods, it's not the whole story, right? Beginning with Sholgi, a process of deification begins again. We actually see Sholgi take the term God of the land. He ends up deifying his father too, Ur-Nammu, after his death. They decide that maybe it's okay, Naram Sin wasn't so bad. After all, we can start going back to this process of deifying ourselves in life. But cautiously, not as ostentatiously as Naram Sin did. And we see this actually in the cylinder seals of the period as well. These presentation scenes, often, right, the royal ones where the king is being brought forth before a god. In this case, now we have officials who are being brought forth before the king. In this case, we have Ur-Nammu here, who is receiving an NC governor before him, an NC governor who is brought forth as a goddess. And you can see again the headgear clearly identifying, and also the text, but clearly identifying the king. This takes its form not just in cylinder seals, but also in architecture. And by the time of Shu Sin, one of the later kings of the Ur III period, a temple is built at the site of Ishuna by local governors, and it's set up to actually worship the king. And this is a later palace. This is a very interesting site for a number of reasons. You can see these two buildings are clearly not built at the same time. This building to the left is a later construction that's added on a bit later. But before that, this is a temple that's built during the Ur III period, and it's dedicated to the deified king Shu Sin. And introduces this new element in temple planning. This is our Ur III temple, and it's got, as you can see, instead of that bent axis that we've come to expect in earlier periods, now there's a straight axis coming from the front, direct approach, again, walking through these niched mud brick, this niched mud brick facade. This is a temple after all, in which you would walk straight into this central courtyard and then be presented with an image of the deified king. So we're going to look at this structure in a bit more depth next time. But again, this Ur III state, in terms of its organization, in terms of its ability to bring resources in and then regulate those resources and then control not just secular matters but also religious matters and social matters through the rule of law, quite a different animal than our Akkadian Empire. And we'll be continuing to look at this next time. So so anyway, that's about it. Do turn in your map if you haven't had a chance to yet. And hopefully we'll see you at 4 o'clock for what should be a really interesting lecture over in the Near Eastern Studies department. I got my office hours today too at 12, so feel free to swing by if you want to.